Happy fall, y'all. This is probably my favorite time of year, I think. Yeah, probably. I love everything about fall. I love the like crisp air. I love the pumpkin patches. I love the like fall drinks. I'm not a pumpkin spice bitch. That's disgusting, but there's other good like fall drinks. I even love haunted houses, which like I never thought that I would like I'm not a scary movie person, and I got talked into going to a haunted house for the first time this year, and it was so fun. Like I had so much fun. Um, it was like kind of one of those weird ones. Like it's interact like they could come up and like mess with you. I was losing my mind. Um, like the first half, like I had my jacket on over my head and I was like I like refused to look at anything. It was also very gory, very like gnarly. Like every room you walked in was like really like wild. And they like started messing with me so bad. And like at one point they were like, "What's wrong, little blonde girl?" I was like, "Fuck this. I gotta get out of here." I couldn't. I had flip flops on. I was sweating so bad I kept like falling out of my feet were like sweating. My whole body was covered in sweat. I was so scared. My feet kept slipping out of my shoes. And then I like realized like, okay, they're like the more like I show them that I'm scared, like the more they mess with you. And so I just kind of like started walking with my head held high and like I just kind of like pretended like I was like fine and I like stopped reacting and I started laughing. And then it was so fun. Like I loved it. It felt like the same feeling like you know how some people hate roller coasters cuz they're scary. The way I was laughing was like the way I laugh on a roller coaster. Like that's how it felt. It was so fun. And actually, now that I think of it, it's such a good analogy because like haunted houses are scary, but they're meant to be entertaining and like they're meant to be fun. And like we paid to go in. And when I stopped reacting to the people, because it was all fake, it wasn't real. And when I stopped reacting to the like people that were there to like mess with you, is when they like it became fun because they like stopped messing with me more. Because I was an easy target. Because I was like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, get me out of here. And then I just like, you know. So, anyways, very funny when you think about it. We come to Earth, we freaking came here on purpose. Like we paid to be here. We came to ride the ride. And and then we like forgot that it's supposed to be fun and then we interact with the 3D and we're like, oh no, no, and we forget that it's fake and it's like a simulation, it doesn't matter. And then it's actually like so much more fun. And then the 3D, when you stop focusing on the 3D, it stops fucking with you. And then and then the thrill, like instead of being scary, it becomes thrilling, which really the uh, hormone that is released with all right, there's yeah, I could see the Amazon guy walking up and I was like "Deep, deep, deep." Thank God he didn't look at me, eye contact, oh my God. Anyways, the hormone that's released when you're excited or you're scared, it's the same, it's just how you interpret it internally, right? So I was scared. And then I was like having the best time of my life. I couldn't stop laughing. I had so much fun. I would totally do it again. Anyways, great analogy when you really think about life. So anyways, I I wanted to make a video, and now I normally would talk about things that are like more spiritual. But you know what? Everything is spiritual. Everything is energy. Everything is like intertwined. It's not just, the material world. Like everything is everything. Everything's connected. Everything is everything. Sorry. Also, I'm filming this video pretty early in the morning. So if my voice sounds like a man, my face is puffy, and my hair is frizzy than normal, that's why. It's like first day clean hair. If you're a girl, especially with like crazy curly hair, you understand like day one, you're just like, are you kidding? Can we just like, it always looks so much better when it's dirty as hell. Anyway. And yeah, like I'm like puffy the first like 3 hours of my day. I don't schedule anything before noon because I wake up like a little raccoon, like I'm just like chipmunk. Cool. So, anyways, the video I wanted to make today is a more practical video. And I never really thought I would do this, but you know what? Like I was saying, like everything is everything. How you do one thing is how you do everything. Everything is spiritual. Everything is connected. Everything is energy. So, so I'm going to speak from like me, my firsthand experience, and maybe not everybody has my personality or how I would do things, but I still think that it's applicable. However, your personality is, it's still applicable. So, like my personality, when I'm interacting with like 90% of the world, strangers, if I'm like out in public, whatever, I'm very like stoic. I'm very neutral. I'm actually a very paranoid person. So I don't give much. I don't say a lot. I'm very introverted. I'm very shy. I don't interact with people. Um, I'm pretty dry. I'm pretty blunt. I'm pretty direct. I don't care if I am offensive. Not that I go around trying to be offensive, but if I'm in public, especially if I'm by myself, and someone's like, "Hey, how's it go?" I'm like, "Good." If that's offensive, sorry, I don't care. I don't trust anybody. So I'm like, I don't know. I don't want what you're selling. I don't need your God. I don't need your religion. I don't need what you're selling. And I don't want to date you. Like I'm just always like guard up. That's a good way to say it. My guard is always up. That's one personality. My other personality, which is probably my more true personality, when I'm around people that I trust or my friends or my inner circle or people that I've, vetted, like I know, like I'm safe. I'm very bubbly. I'm very flirty, not like flirty. I don't know. Like I think I just come off that way. Like men, women, children. I'm just flirty. I'm just like I'm just happy. I'm very like, um, everything's funny. Everything's a joke. I just want to have fun. I just want to laugh. I just want to dance. I just want to like run around. I just want to shut off my brain. And it could even come off as like naive, um, carefree, uh, like everything's a joke. I feel comfortable like saying self-deprecating jokes because I'm amongst friends who know me, know that what I'm saying probably isn't true, or if it is, they're not judging me for it, or whatever. Everything's just silly, funny, happy, haha, right? And then, so, and there's also like a part of my personality where those two merge. And sometimes I'm like that in business, right? So my guard's up, but I can still like banter and have fun and not be too serious. I was in sales like my whole life. So I'm not going to like let somebody waste my time. I'm going to be very direct. I'm going to be very blunt, but I'm still like enjoying myself because if I'm at work, like I'm not gonna just be like miserable. Like I'm going to enjoy myself. I'm gonna have fun. I'm gonna like poke like I'm just you know, I can make light of and be silly and be funny and whatever. And honestly, how I feel is like m- my personality that is probably my true authentic self is very feminine. It's very like playful. It's very like silly. It's very naive. It's very carefree. It's very fluid. It's very like on to the next. Where are we going? Blah blah blah. And so like I just said, I love fall. It's my favorite time of year. Maybe I'm biased because it's um my birthday falls close to Halloween. My birthday's actually tomorrow. So I had gone out over this past weekend with a bunch of girlfriends. And you have to understand some of these people I've known since I was a little kid, under 10 years old. And then even like junior high and high school and college, like these are people I've known for years. So of course I'm gonna have like my real true personality out. So we're like out and about and we're having fun, right? Girls just want to have fun. And it's so true, they do. That's all I want. I just want to have fun. I don't want to think. I don't want to maneuver. I don't want to plan. I don't want to execute. I want to be in the moment. I want to laugh. I want to dance. I want to be silly. I want to look cute. Yeah, we were like dressed up cute. We went to dinner and blah blah blah. So when I'm with my girlfriends, people I've known for years, I feel very safe. I do let my guard down. And I am that true, authentic version of myself. Silly, playful. I don't take anything seriously. Oh, and just like think it's like peak girlhood. Like it just makes me so happy when I think about, we're like listening to Spice Girls and I have this like, like we look cute and we're like it's just happy and everything's funny and whatever. Okay. So I'll say this in the sense of like masculine energy, feminine energy. Those are polarizing energies, right? Uh, I think a woman in her feminine is very alluring to a man. Most men. Men, I think, like, I don't, I honestly think from experience, there is nothing more alluring to a man than a woman in her feminine, just being like playful, being silly, being fun. It, it can be very, it's like magnetic. And so, we pulled a lot of attention. And yes, my friends are very beautiful. And we were dressed nice and whatever. But I know that it goes farther than that. I really do think it's energetic. All of my friends have good energy. Oh my gosh, like some of the most fun, hilarious people you've ever met. I can't. Like because I pulled that energy. Like there's a reason why we vibed for so many years because like attracts like or whatever. And so yeah, we pulled in a little bit of attention, and there's definitely like the healthy masculine that's like, hey, like I feel like they just want to be a part. Like they're like, I'm just happy to be here. Like I just want to watch. I really think men like love watching women just be fully women. And because there's a difference, energy doesn't lie. The woman that walks in the room who is using manipulation with some might call it the male gaze, right? Like dressing for men. Nothing wrong with that, by the way. I definitely was not dressing for men when we went out. If you saw my outfit, I looked like a grandma. I loved it. It was so cute to me. I looked like a grandma. And so, anyways, the women that are trying to attract attention, it can and it can work. But there's a difference. You feel the difference. And then women that are just enjoying themselves in their authenticity and in their what I would call feminine, it attracts attention and it's a very different energy. No, listen, we were not trying to get attention from anybody because we're having so much fun on our own. We kind of forget that there's even other people around, right? And so a lot of men came up and were like, you know, nice. But they just wanted to be a part of it. There's just something fun about watching girls be girls, right? Just as polarizing as it would be for women to see men be men in their full masculine, right? Um, and so a healthy masculine might get pulled into that energy and say, I can I buy you girls drinks or whatever. And it's like, "N- we're good. We're not here for that. Like we just thanks but no thanks. Like I'm here with my friends. And also, I'm not drinking. Um that's like a side note. I just like happened to stop drinking a couple months ago. It just kind of happened naturally and I kind of like liked it. Like I was like, "Oh, I'm still having fun, but I can stay clear-headed and I travel so much that getting around obviously is so much easier if you're not uh you know having to stay put because of you can't drive or whatever." Anyways, so I was like, "I'm good, thanks." I mean, you can buy drinks for my girlfriends. I don't think they need it either. Like, you know, and nine times n- most healthy masculine are like, "Oh, sure. Okay, have fun, girls." Like just happy to witness the fun. And then sometimes there is an unhealthy masculine that might get angry or want to control the situation or get upset. Or if you do take the drink, God forbid, there is strings attached. And that didn't happen. I'm just saying, like, I've been around that before. Like, the unhealthy masculine tries to control, and they can get a little angry when things don't go their way. Anyways, so all that to say, being in your authentic self is very alluring, and I think it's very alluring because it's very rare nowadays. Unfortunately, the way that Earth is, our society set up, everything, there are a lot of perceived obstacles. If you've watched my other videos, I talk about they manufacture fear and scarcity to us, and we eat it up. It is bought and sold. And it's very easy to subscribe to that narrative. It's very easy to think life is hard. Um, we have to jeopardize who we are in order to survive. And so a lot of people will wear masks and I would say, subscribe to a scarcity mindset. They don't know how else to survive without being in fear, wearing a mask, being inauthentic, right? And so when you meet somebody who is authentic, it is so alluring, it's so magnetic, it's so rare. And just because it's rare doesn't mean that I think it's actually very natural. That's how we're meant to be, but that doesn't mean that it's common. So so when and like I said at the beginning of the video, I'm going to speak from my firsthand experience. This is my personality. This is like um this is who I came to earth to be. And I like to think of it as like God is like this cloud in the sky, right? And each of us decided to take a piece, an aspect of God, and we break it off, right? Like a little mini cloud. And we came down to earth and we came here to experience that aspect of God. Everybody has their own aspect. God is infinite. God is everything. I didn't come down to earth to be every aspect of God. I came down to earth to experience this version of God incarnated as a human. And if you watch my other videos, we came down, experience amnesia, and go through life and its perceived obstacles in order to remember who we are. And it comes full circle. And it's a great learning experience. And it's a great way to understand ourselves in a different way, because when we're up in full union with God in, let's call it heaven, I mean, it's probably great, but there's a full knowing. You might be like, this is kind of boring, or let's try something new, or let's experience, like I want to go try something different, right? So we come down to earth, we break off. So my version, my aspects of God that I chose to came down to earth to experience as a human are going to be very different from yours. I am feminine. I am funny, silly, carefree, goofy, weird, whatever. I'm not like maybe a brainiac or this super. I mean, I have aspects of a little bit of everything, but like I'm not a neuroscientist that's at MIT, like working on, you know, breakthroughs on string theory. My brain is not capable. I don't want to put limitations on myself, but unfortunately, like I don't think that's my aspect of God that I got. Does that make sense? Okay. So we came down to earth and everybody brought some qualities of God with them, and that is being expressed, right? So um so like this is just who I am, right? Like this is me being authentic. And I have strengths and I also have weaknesses that I'm going to um experience and overcome on my journey on earth as a human. And I think what happens is we um have these perceived obstacles. We're being like sold this narrative that like life is hard, you have to work hard, like nothing comes easy, like you need to be skilled, you need to like maybe go to school, earn your keep, whatever. And so it can be very easy to abandon our authenticity and start putting on masks in order to survive. So that is why it's kind of rare to find somebody being authentic. But I will tell you, when you are in your full authentic self version, when you're in that energy, and to me, that is like when you're in your divine union with God, you have like a nice connection to that cloud of infinite, intelligent, infinite, divinity, infinite, God qualities, whatever. So when I'm being authentic, I have a straight shot to God. And that is my greatest tool as a human on earth. But if I'm not being authentic, I do cut off that source, that connection to God. And I cut off my intuition and I cut off my guidance and I cut off my discernment and I cut off my flow state. I cut off so much. And it feels like safe because I'm like, well, I have to do this to survive. I have to wear this mask to survive. I have to like get up and do this job that I hate to survive. I have to like whatever. But the reality is, you actually don't have to live like that. You can actually be fully who you are expressed. And not only will it keep your source to God intact, which again, you're going to have more discernment, more intuition. You're going to be in flow state, like things are going to work out better. But you are now a magnet for everything that you want to materialize. Because if you're in your authentic energy, everything you want, everything that is meant for you is going to come to you. When you're in your fake and your phony energy and you're wearing a mask, you can't pull in what's for you because you're not you. You're not being authentic. You're not in alignment. Like attracts like. So if I'm over here pretending like I'm some, I don't know, what could I pretend to be? Some like, I don't know, version of me that's not true. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to really manifest. I'm not going to be able to pull in what's for me because I'm not in my authentic energy, and like attracts like. So when I'm fully expressed, fully expanded in who I am, dude, it just rolls in. I hope that makes sense. Okay. So now getting into the practical of it. When I'm authentic, it is very alluring. Men, women, children are going to want it's it, you're just magnetic. You just pull in a lot. You're going to pull in a lot of like energy, people that are also authentic, and you're going to pull in a lot of the opposite energy, unfortunately, because when people aren't in their authenticity and they see it, it's like very alluring for them, and they want to, it's like moths to a flame. And so you're in your little realm, you're in your little world, and you're happy and you're cultivating and you're creating a life for yourself that's authentic for you, and you're pulling really cool experiences in, and you're meeting interesting people, like-minded people, and you have success because it's just innate. Like, you're just a magnet to pull in all the shit you want. So you're going to start pulling in people. And this is what I want to speak on specifically. I like to think of life as a video game because it kind of is. It's like a simulation. And it's like a stepping, like the levels, right? You have like level 1, and that's the first step. And then level 2 and level 3. And you keep beating the levels and you keep going up. And on every level, you're going to like overcome some obstacle, and then you're going to like acquire a new tool or a new skill or a new whatever, strength or whatever. And as you go up the stairs, like it gets better and better and better. You start, like, I think as I evolve, like my life gets better. I pull in cooler stuff, more success, cooler experiences. You're just leveling up. And so I like to think like on every level, um, like okay, so whatever. I love The Great Gatsby. I love like that era. Oh, it's such a beautiful era. I love Art Deco. I love the parties. I love the glitz, the glam. I love the movie. I love Leo DiCaprio, whatever. I love that. So I like to think of it as like every level, like you have your own version of your little Great Gatsby party. And it's very alluring, especially as you get up on the levels. When you come up and you're leveling up, like, yeah, that is going to be a really dope party. And everyone wants to come to your party. You got like champagne flowing, and you got cool, interesting people. And so like you start inviting people into your party, right? And they come in and they're vibing and they're like excited and they're like enjoying the energy, and it's synergistic, and like everybody has like their own little quality of God that they came here to express. So you might have like, you come to my Great Gatsby party and you're like just completely enjoying the experience and you're just grateful to be there because it's a interesting opportunity, and you don't always see this stuff out and about. And you might be um you know taking in the artwork or the design of the home, or there might be like a piano player who's just really skilled, or an entertainer, or somebody who's just like really funny, or just like a really beautiful woman, or whatever, like whatever the skill set of each person that's there, because to be on that level, that those people have to not wear masks, and they have to be in alignment with their authenticity. I'm not going to walk into your Great Gatsby party and see this piano player, and then I'm trying to now become like a world famous piano player. That's just not me. That's not my gift for the world to share. Like, that's not my vibe. But I'm there enjoying it, and I'm grateful to be there, and I'm like just in awe of this amazing talent that this piano player has, or the entertainer, or the funny person, or the the chef that prepared the food, or the whatever, or the beautiful artwork on the walls, or the person that created the art, or everybody's got their own thing. And like energy doesn't lie. When people are being authentic, it's so alluring. And honestly, even in the world of YouTube, you've seen those fucking people who see somebody on YouTube be very successful, and they have like their schlick, and they have their uh their angle, and they have a lot of success in it, and you see those people try to go and manufacture a fit. They try to put that mask on, and it's like fucking so cringe to watch, because they're trying so hard and the mask just doesn't fit. It's not you. And they're like trying so hard, and they have even stolen like the taglines, or the angle, or like the way that it's explained, whatever. And it's just so ingenuine, and you're just like, ugh. Try being you. Try being authentic. The reason why those people's whose YouTube are very successful and get a lot of people, like they just love it and they enjoy watching their channel, is because that YouTuber is being very authentic. It's very alluring. Even if it's not your jam, even if it's not your vibe. I've gone to like YouTube channels before, and I'm like, this guy. And then I'm like, you know what? He's entertaining, or she's entertaining. Or I get like the energy doesn't lie. Like, they're being authentic. And so it's very interesting, even if it's not your thing, right? But it can't be duplicated. So you have this Great Gatsby party, and people are coming in, and if they're on your level and they're vibing, they're going to bring their authenticity with you, and it's going to look different than everybody else's, but it's going to make sense, and it's going to be, I guess, like they're offering, right? They're like, I'm happy to be here. Here's who I am, fully expressed. This is me. I brought these baked goods because I'm really good at baking, or I brought my specific sense of humor, or my style of dress that's like very unique, or my whatever it is that is you fully expressed, your specific personality of God that you brought with you to earth. And those people make the party so much better. And it's a vibe, and it's synergistic, and it's an energy exchange, and it's great. And then you have the people who come into your party, and unfortunately, they're wearing a mask. They're in their scarcity mindset. They're in their fear mindset. And so they have to wear a mask because that's how they've survived. And they come in, and and listen, they're gonna go undetected for a while. It could take months. It could take years. They're gonna come in, and they're gonna have some red flags that you might perceive as green. So listen, they might walk into your Great Gatsby party and be very uh, complimentary. They're gonna kiss your ass. They're going to say, wow, this is so cool. You're so cool. This is so cool. How did you? Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for letting me be here. This is so cool. This is so cool. No. Red flag. People that kiss your ass, they know it's because they don't belong there. Red flag. Don't fall for it. Use your intuition, use your discernment. If it feels weird, it's because it's weird. Okay. Or they might come in and they might say, it's going to look like a green flag. They're going to say, oh, thank you so much for letting me be here. I'm going to do this for you now. I'm going to thank you so much. I, tit for tat. I did this thing for you. I brought this thing for you. I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to whatever. Oh, that's so, oh, they're like they see what I'm doing. Like they appreciate. No, people that keep score, red flag, because they know it's a manipulation. They know they're using it. It's like people that keep receipts. They're using that. They're keeping score so that they never have to fully show up as themselves. They never have to be held accountable. They never have to, they can just keep tit for tat, tit for tat. It's a red flag. Don't fall for it. And what's going to happen is like you're going to bring people into your Great Gatsby party and and they're going to kiss your ass and they might do something in return, but you're going to know because energy doesn't lie. It's going to be inauthentic. Okay? So you need to watch what happens over the next couple months. Be discerning because so now they came into your party, you gave them access to it could be like your friends, your family, your resources, your network, your maybe you have a I don't know, whatever. Like maybe your family has a beautiful house in the I don't know, like a cabin in the woods. I don't know. Everybody has like their own strengths, their own resources, their own whatever. So you brought them in. Watch what happens now. Watch what happens. They might get invited to somebody else's Great Gatsby party that they met through you, and they don't invite you. They might start acting weird. They might start exploiting resources. They might start manipulating. They might start trying to control. That's not authentic energy. That's not abundant mindset. That's a scarcity mindset. And again, if you're connected to God, your higher power, your whatever, you're gonna like your logical mind might try to throw it out like, no, like they're being cool. It's fine. It's all good. No, listen to the energy. It doesn't lie. Okay. So now you're gonna see how they move over the next couple months. I promise. So they're going to wear their mask and they're going to get away with it. But eventually the mask starts to crack. And because they don't know how to cultivate happiness on their own, resources on their own, be authentic and cultivate who they are on their own, they don't know how to create. Even though we all came here to create our own world, they haven't figured it out yet. And they subscribe to the fear mongering and the scarcity mindset and all this shit. And they don't know how to level up to you. And there's a void. And what we do every time we level up, because life's always going to raise, the glass ceiling or whatever, raise the bar. And we're going to forever be like, okay, now it's time to go to the next level. And we have to go to the next level and go to the next level. And as we look back, we're like, oh, I always thought it was so hard, but what I would do to go back to that level, it was so easy. So every level, like, it feels like, ooh, this one's a hard one. God always gave you the tools. There's always an opportunity. And in other videos I've talked about, when you tell yourself, I am evolving, I belong up there, I'm limitless, I'm powerless. You tell your subconscious brain that, it's going to highlight for you exactly, almost like in a video game. It's going to highlight the thing that's going to get you to that next level. It's going to become almost obvious to you. It's going to feel like, oh, I would have got there anyways. No, you had to program your subconscious to believe that you belonged up on that next level. And that goes into self-worth, goes into your identity, goes into your worthiness. People that don't have good self-worth, worthiness, yada yada, they don't think that they belong up there. They don't know how to get up there. They've fell victim of the programs of the world and the bullshit and the you're not good enough. And basically, if you listen to the world around you, it's going to tell you you're a piece of shit basically your whole life. And here's the thing. We can tell ourselves internally who we are and cultivate internally, or we are victims of our environment and we take what's in front of us being told and we program ourselves from the outside. We let the outside world program us. There's a good analogy with like cold-blooded versus like warm-blooded, being able to self-regulate your internal temperature. You don't want to be able to be um, influenced by your environment around you. You want to be self um, sovereign and be able to program yourself internally. Don't be warm-blooded and let the world like throw you around like a rag doll. You are a sovereign being. You control your internal temperature, so to speak. You program yourself. You tell yourself who you are. You don't let the outside world tell you who you are. It's very easy to do. There's so many obstacles around us that our friends, our family, our society, our education, our jobs, the media. I have a video on this. I think it's like, don't let the world program you or something. Go watch that. That's essentially what I'm talking about right now. You want to be cold-blooded in the sense that you want to be able to self-regulate and self-program yourself internally. You choose. God gave you free will. Don't go listening to the outside world because it will program you for the worst, to not believe that you're capable, that you're powerful, that you're limitless, whatever. So unfortunately, the people that have fallen victim to the programming of the outside world don't believe that they're good enough to be on the next level with you. So what are they going to do? They're going to get invited into the party and they're going to be well behaved for a while. And then eventually their jealousy and their own mediocrity are going to catch up to them. And they're not going to be a nice party guest anymore. They're going to spill a drink and they're not going to clean it up. They're going to, instead of admiring your beautiful wallpaper, they're going to see a lift in the corner and they're going to rip it up. They're jealous. And they're going to start trying to pull you down to their level because they don't know how to get to you any other way. Okay? So now, that's a parasite. You do not want to let a parasite in. And that is why we're going to look for the red flags that might be, our logical brain might tell us it's a green flag. It's not. We're going to use our discernment, our connection to God in order to hear our intuition loud and clear and be discerning and look for the red flags. Because energy doesn't lie. Okay? So now you know you have a parasite. You have somebody who believes scarcity and they don't believe in the abundance that is in the world. Here's what you're going to do. And this is, again, going back to, I said, I'm going to speak from my firsthand experience. This is who I am. This is like my personality range, right? I'm very nice. I'm very fun. I'm very generous. I do let people into my Great Gatsby party. I want everyone to have fun because I know that life is abundant. There's no limit on resources. There's enough for everybody. Come on in. Champagne's flowing. Doesn't end. There's plenty for everybody. But now I'm going to watch how people respond to that. Okay. So here's my full range of emotion. And if you're not like me, I totally understand. So I can be nice. I can be generous. I can be funny. I can be carefree. The parasites in my life will look at me and see that as a crack. They're like, ooh, she's vulnerable. She's weak. She's naive. No, bitch. No, I'm not. I'm just in an abundant mindset, so I don't think people are out to get me, but I still know that that's a possibility. So when you show up, um, I can see from a mile away now. You know why? Because in my little video game, I started out from level 1 and I went to level 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And on every level, I gained a new skill. I gained a new perspective. So yeah, I can see your slimy little ass from a mile away now. And I become more discerning as time went on. But people might be able to wear a mask for a little bit of time. And so they come in, I sense their energy, I can sniff it out, and now you have a parasite. So is just as kind and generous and generous or carefree as I am. Listen, that's not my full range of personality. I have full access to everything. I'm a short-tempered asshole if I need to be, right? I have access to all of that. If you don't, good for you. You're a better person than I am. Okay. And I'm not saying like I'm going to like call somebody out of their name. I'm not going to just be mean to be mean. I'm not just going to slew garbage in their face just to be mean. No. But I'll call somebody in their name. If it quacks like a duck, walks like a duck, I'm going to call it a duck. And I'm not going to feel bad. I am nice and kind and generous. So no, I don't give second chances. I don't give explanations. I don't give I, I'm not Captain Save-A-Ho. I'm not here to help you. If you don't belong, if you don't share this kind of energy, a kind, generous heart, because guess what? As you evolve, you actually do become more loving, more generous, more kind because you are evolving and you stop subscribing to the scarcity mindset. We live in an abundant life. Like it's very easy to be loving, open, generous, kind because you understand that we live in an abundant world and whatever. And so when somebody is coming into my world and they're a parasite, I don't give second chances. I'm going to call you out directly. And you might think that's mean. It's not. You might think, well, that's not very nice. No, if you think you're so nice that you can't call people out and set boundaries, you're wearing a mask. You're not actually nice. You're actually a people pleaser. If you don't, if you're not able to set boundaries for yourself, you're not nice because you came here to steward yourself on earth. You're the only thing you're responsible for. If you can't protect yourself and keep yourself safe, you're not very nice, are you? You're not being very nice to yourself. So nice people set boundaries. Nice people call people out. And again, I'm not calling somebody out of their name. I'm not going to just be mean to be mean. I'm going to tell them the truth because it's a disservice to not. If somebody goes in their whole life, they're wearing a mask and they're just an asshole and nobody calls them out on it and they're going around and they're screwing people over, they're going to think they can get away with it and they have no reason to stop. So it's your job. It's my job. It's our job. No, you don't get access to me if you're going to act like a stanky ass hoe, if you have shit energy, if you're not authentic, if you have a scarcity mindset, if you're manipulative, if you're controlling, if you're whatever, you don't get access to me anymore. And I'm going to call you out because you, yeah, you might come into my world and try to rock it. You're not going to be able to because I am in my authentic self. Like you can't like hurt me, right? Like cuz I'm connected to God and I'm like whatever. I've evolved enough to know how to protect myself and I know how these things work. But there might be other people out there that don't know. And that little parasite might latch on to somebody weaker and that's can't take care of themselves. So it's our job to tell them, no, this is not okay. What you're doing is not okay. You know, like, and cutting them off, not giving second chances. You cut the cancer out so it doesn't grow and fester and become a problem. And that is an act of self-love. That is an act of integrity. That is an act of, you are acting in your authenticity. Like, and guess what? People down on level 1, guess what they have around them? A whole lot of fucking people. Guess who, when you have like sacred energy and when you know who you are and you have self-worth, when you're up on like level up here, no, not just anybody gets to come and hang out with me. I am sacred. I am authentic. I have this awesome Great Gatsby party going on that is my life that I'm sure a lot of people want access to, but you don't just get it unless you've done the work and you are in an abundant mindset and you're just as loving, generous, not manipulative, like unassuming as me, because that's how we keep this thing going. You let one little parasite in and it's going to throw a wrench in the whole production. So I don't care how nice somebody is. I don't care how complimentary they are. I don't care if they give you nice gifts. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. Use your discernment. And if the energy is whack, you need to cut the cancer out and you need to be nice to yourself and nice to them by setting a boundary, by telling them, I see you. I see what you're doing, whatever it is. And there's no judgment, by the way. I don't judge you because everybody's on their own journey. Everybody's on their own level in this video game. Everybody came here to do what they have to do. At one time, I was also a shitty person. I was selfish. I would manipulate. I would try to control the situation. There's no judgment. You're just not going to have fucking access to me. You're not going to hang out with me. You're not going to be near me. And it's not my job to like fix you. That's your job. We all progressed in our levels, not because somebody was like pulling us up. That would be a disservice because you're going to like pull somebody up onto your next little video game level and they're not going to have the tools or acquire the skill. They're going to get eaten alive on the next level. Not your job. People will level up when they want to. It's not your job to pull people out of the trenches or whatever. It's your job to let them know you don't have access to me and I see you and girl, bye. Bye. Boy, bye. And again, no judgment. Listen, that's why when I see a homeless person on the side of the road, I give him money. I used to be like, oh my God, like I work 3 jobs, I go to school, like this guy's lazy. No, he's on a different level. It, bitch, we've all used substances to alter our experience. They're miserable. Yeah, they're going to take your money and go buy drugs. You probably were going to go buy drugs too. Now, when you're operating at like your lower levels, right? Like we've all been there. There's no judgment. He's just on a way worse level than you. We can all see like oh, okay. Like he's like these people are hurting. They don't know their own essence. They don't know their own divinity. They don't know their authenticity. They don't know their authority. They don't know. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna give the homeless guy money because it's like we've all been there. But I'm not gonna invite him into my he doesn't get to come live with me and like I'm not gonna like date him and I'm not gonna invite him into my Great Gatsby party. So you can like love people at a distance, bless them on their way, go find Jesus. I mean, I say that. That's like what religious people would say. But yeah, you need to go find God. You need to go find God. You need to go figure out who you are. And you need to have full access and you need to stop prescribing to the fucking scarcity mindset. That is the biggest parasitic people that are in that mindset. Like, dude, keep them away from you at all costs. And you, like I said, use your discernment, look for the fake green flags that are really red flags, and do not be afraid to set boundaries. People love boundaries. And like you came here to steward yourself and like don't become a people pleaser. Like you need to do what's best for you and you need to protect what you've created because you're going to keep leveling up. It's just part of life. You're going to keep leveling up and you're going to become more sacred. You're going to become more exclusive. And you're going to have to become more discerning. And those are the skills that you acquire every time you level up. I hope that made sense. I'm under an hour. Thank you, Jesus, because I feel like this could have wandered off a little bit off the rails. Okay. Happy Halloween. I hope you guys have fun. Be safe out there. And I will talk to you guys later. Bye.